welcome back to Beneath the Surface with Alli and Daisy, and today we've got Gary King on. Woo!
Welcome.
Yay! Hi Daisy, hi Alli. How are you ladies?
Hello, Gary.
Just to let everyone know, my face, I fell. I'm okay. I didn't get beaten up, just in case people are worried. A lot of people on Instagram very worried about me, but I'm not.
Yeah.
But
Gary didn't beat you up
no.
No, gosh.
Surprise.
Fucking hell, Alli.
this season.
Jesus.
How rumors
So
start.
far.
Yeah.
Gary, the man himself, welcome to our podcast. We have never had you on anything we've done before, and I
No,
actually
you
haven't.
haven't.
We
I feel
actually
quite
haven't.
privileged,
I
actually.
feel like this is probably one of the times he unfollowed us. You're like,
Yeah.
it hasn't had me on any of our podcasts. I'm going to unfollow.
What do you mean unfollowed you girls? I never followed you in the first place.
So you liar.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, apparently. So we've talked to a few people from your cast, from your crew, and
Okay.
apparently you're a big unfollower. We've been hearing. We already knew this, but they're kind of catching on to that. And you're also you leave people on red all the time. What do you have to say about that?
I take it that's not replying to messages.
No, but you
Yes.
read it as well. Not only not
Yeah, you
reply.
open it and you don't reply.
I swear to God, for the last 3 years, this has been a New Year's resolution. New Year's resolution of mine is to try get better at responding. Even my best mate John T, he had messaged me 10 times, read it, don't reply, and he's like, "You fucking hopeless." He's like, "I don't even know why I messaged you."
I think that was actually on your WhatsApp description. I think
I will reply
you
soon,
had
I
that on your
promise.
description.
I know. I actually just tried to change that recently, and that's why I realized it was that.
Yeah, that's so funny.
So I do need to get better at. It's sometimes that I'll be doing something, especially when you're so busy at work. You'll have your phone with you, and then you'll read the message, and be like, "Okay, I'll reply to that later," and then just completely forget about it. I mean, it's not a good
What
excuse.
about the unfollowing? You can't explain that with
Gary.
being busy at work.
Yeah, but I mean, now what's that chick's name that we worked with again on the show?
What chick?
Ashley, that's it. Anyway, so sorry, my bad.
I
You
didn't
Whoopsie.
unfollowed Tom as well.
Yeah, but Tom had it in for me from day one, and the fact that I worked with someone for 10 days, now I must remain friends on Instagram for the rest of our lives, you know?
Oh, so
Right.
you unfollow him because I asked you. I said, "Why did you unfollow Tom?" And you were like, "No, I didn't."
Yeah. I don't think I ever followed him in the first place. That's why.
Your web is becoming untangled as we
Untangled. Yeah, but it's, to be honest, I mean, I like to see the feed of the people that I know. I've got a few randoms.
Oh my
and,
God,
yeah,
Gary knows me. Gary
I've got a few randoms on there and a few famous people that I like
Daisy
Rafael
knows.
Nadal, etc. Why must I see things that I don't want to see on Instagram? There's so much shit on social media as is that I try and limit it. And if someone's had it in for me from day one on the show, and we knew each other for 10,
Why
11
do you
days,
think that? Why do you think he had it in for you?
just every comment that he wrote or said in his interviews. And when
Oh,
I saw him
really?
in Parma, all what he could, okay, he was fucked. When we were trying to watch rugby, all he was doing was apologizing for how it, sorry. Fuck. All he was doing was
so sensitive because you did that last year with me. You didn't like the way I spoke about you in our green screen. And
no.
then-
I heard differently. Days it was more about what you were saying on your post party.
On our pit-up
Dinner
party.
party.
Hit a party, yeah.
Yeah, but
Sorry.
you never listened to it. That's the thing. You unfollowed all of us, and you said to me, I remember when I spoke to you very briefly, and you said to me you had unfollowed us because someone who I won't name them, someone had told you that we were
That's
hanging
when I
shit on
unfollowed
you.
Daisy. When I
But we
unfollowed you,
would've-
Alli, that was after the reunion. Because we were
Yeah,
still keeping
we'll get
in
to
touch
that.
quite a
He
lot.
has a reason for everything.
No, I will tell you why, and I think it's a very, very good reason. Thank you very much. Alli, you and I were chatting quite a lot prior to the reunion, once a week, maybe once every 10 days, which was quite lovely. And then the day of the reunion, we spoke. You phoned me, and we spoke for maybe an hour and
You
45
phoned
minutes.
me. Excuse me. You phoned me.
God, I'm not. Maybe this isn't where we should hash up.
No, this is exactly where.
I don't remember that it's like that, to be honest.
Okay,
But
okay,
anyway,
carry on.
regardless, we still spoke for about an hour and a half. So regardless of who
Yes.
phoned who, we could still chat for that long. And I
Yes.
mean, you seemed like you were still a very good friend of mine then, which I love because I thought we had a great conversation, making each other laugh, etc., etc. And then you dropped the ball heavy on me in the show. And if we were such good friends, and after everything that we went through, I don't understand why you didn't tell me that you were pregnant. It's just like, and then come out on the show. It's just like, fuck. So she's spoke to me for an hour and a half, asking me all these questions. You know, we've been chatting, and now it comes out on the show. It's just, I found it was a little
Okay.
bit two-faced, really.
Okay, so I wasn't planning on saying it on the show. And Daisy, remember I spoke to you about this before the reunion. I said that they asked me, do I want to talk about it at the reunion? And I said no. And then they were kind of prodding me to say it. And I was like, all right, I just blurted it out. So that was unplanned. So I was actually planning on, like, only the girls knew.
Yeah.
I was actually planning on telling people.
But I'm sorry, the
Oh,
funniest
I
thing.
was just a little bit heartbroken because I thought we had gone through a lot and, like,
Well,
you know, had a good time
sorry.
together.
I'm sorry.
For me, the funniest thing about this is I think your reason is valid. Like, I do. That would really upset me. I get really sensitive about stuff like that. But I love your go-to is to unfollow. That's what I love most out of all of this. Not to call her or text her. I could just imagine you stewing and being like, getting on Instagram and being like, I'm
I'm
going
gonna
to
unfollow her. But okay,
That's
so
the bit I love the most.
Well,
I
doesn't
do
it
wanna
look
get
better
back-
when you've got more followers than people, or less followers than people follow you?
Oh, now the truth really
way more
comes
followers
out.
now. What are you talking about? No, I do want to go back to that though, because I haven't spoken to you properly since the reunion. Like, we kind of, that was like, I sent you a message after the reunion. I said, sorry for saying what I said about your girlfriend, because I know that really wasn't okay. I shouldn't have said that.
Something that I did, I've got to live with that for the rest of my life. That I wasn't really pissed off about. It came out of the blue, but
I thought that's what
You know,
you were
I fucked
angry
up,
at me
so
for.
it's something that
I
I've got to
said
live
sorry
with,
about that. I
so-
didn't know. I honestly didn't know that you were upset that I didn't tell you that I was pregnant. So I apologize. I didn't know. And we
No, just
it's
after
been
everything
like
we had
a
gone
year
through,
and a
Annie,
half. This apology coming. But if you
talk
would
about
reply,
holding a grudge.
me, the
Yeah,
queen of
fucking
holding a
A.
grudge. Well, I mean, now we've finally spoken, and look how easy that was.
Tony,
God, I'm so relieved. I can finally
I
sleep
know.
at night now. Gosh,
I
these
know.
endless nights of worrying.
And now we can just laugh and be friends again.
Yeah, exactly. Funny story, isn't it? Oh, fuck, remember when Gary unfollowed me?
I'm going to start doing that now. I'm going to go this conversation. I'm going to go on, and anyone I have a grudge against, I'm going to unfollow.
And see if they
Okay.
notice and wait to see how long
Oh,
it
they
takes.
definitely
to
will.
Okay, but then also, like, for instance, I unfollowed Gabby because of the shit that she was talking about. And I don't want to be associated with anyone like that. Is that not a valid point? You know?
No,
Fair.
Gary, like, honestly, we're joking. This is your
No. I know. I know I got to answer
follow
that for
and
every.
unfollow. We're only find it funny because, like, I'll not text someone back if I don't like them, whereas you'll unfollow them. I just like your tactic. That's all. We just want to know
Yeah,
about it. But
Because
with your
you
Instagram,
get that with models. They follow like thousands of people and then they unfollow all of them. I'm not quite like that.
that was like Sydney last
Grow
year. I don't make
Instagram
fun of
followers.
Sydney, but
So
she
Gary
had a bit of
is
her-
Gary's Instagram is following the design of models. That's how it's going now.
No.
That's
no.
what we're
Your-
learning from.
your Instagram, and I get it. If people piss you off, or I'm honestly taking the piss, and I get if you don't want to be associated with people who are, making a lot of noise on Instagram, because some people make too much noise, especially negative noise, and no, I totally get it. We're only we're only having a
No,
play with you. That sounds
no,
really.
no, no.
On
But
that
it's also,
note, is
yeah.
there any, who are you still getting along with from your season? Like who, because I know you and Marcos clicked really well.
Yeah, me and Marcus chat quite often. Daisy and I pretty much every day, every night. We talk until
A
we fall
lie.
asleep. We
I can
literally put our
text
phones
Gary
next
and
to our
he'll leave
ears
me
and
in
fall
red.
asleep while talking to each other. No, so I chat to Colin, Daisy, Marcos, Glenn, obviously. Kelsey and I chat every now and then, and Barnaby, and I can't mention the other person. You will meet her later, or can
No,
I?
they've already announced it, I think.
No, not her name though. They've
But
shown that she's going to
you,
join, and that
Well,
girl,
oh,
the new Stu, the girl who replaces.
the new Stu. There we go. That's how you put it.
okay. I saw on Gabby's Instagram she'd announced who both of them were. So I was like Barnaby
Oh,
and
did she?
the
Yeah,
other.
well, I put that up for Barnaby. I was just like, because I saw he put something up, and I was like, well, clearly it's been aired, that episode. So was that last week then?
No, it'll be aired this Monday, but the trailer and stuff is out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
think
this
I saw the
podcast
trailer.
is going to come out the day before the day after the episode. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
What
Still
about
relevant.
what about from the first season we did? Who do you chat to? Me and
Just you and Colin. Young Colin. I can't remember who else was on that season.
I know, I struggle to think as well.
What about a little someone starting with Sid and ending with Nee? You don't chat with her anymore.
Who's that?
Because you guys worked together for quite a while after we did the crossing.
Yeah, fucking she had it in for me even in Mallorca. Fucking hell. I couldn't.
Who do you have a worse relationship with, Sydney or Ashley?
To be honest, I quite like Sydney, and I thought she was a great worker. Ashley, I thought she was a great worker. After the show, Sydney and I got along quite well until she kept talking shit about me to my mates in Palma. And they'd message me and we're like, we've just met the Sydney girl and she's talking shit about you. I'm like, oh my God.
One follower.
Actually, what I find funny about Ashley, actually, and Tom, sorry to name drop here, but both of them, like in the beginning episodes, they were like, kept complaining about age. They're being like, age is just a number, you're so childish, blah, 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 etc., etc. But then on the first night, Tom acted like a 12-year-old, getting so pissed he vomited in the captain's cabin. And Ashley, like an 11-year-old girl, seeing the first guy at the party she wanted to kiss and then just fucking attack.
Sorry,
How do you feel about Ashley's approach? Because she had a mission, and that mission was you. And she's obviously watched last season. Do you think that was like because she actually was that obsessed with hooking up with you, or do you think that she was just trying to get screen time?
Well, I think her ways in trying to seduce a man are not very good. I think what she wants, she'll get. I think she's been a spoiled girl pretty much her whole life, so she's always got what she wanted. And yeah, it's a little bit cringe. She told me and Tom, she spoke to her, she's like, when I first came here, Gary, all I wanted to do was hook up with you. Obviously they didn't show that in the edit. I was like, fuck, okay, that's cool. But yeah, it was a little bit cringy. She's a little bit desperate.
Do you not think, Gary, though, like, you know...
I mean, look at this. Fuck.
No,
what's going on here?
Lady killer.
Like, we have a responsibility as, like, you know, like, I really felt the age gap this year. Like, I, you know, felt how young they were, and I also felt how much older I was getting. And, you know, sometimes I still think I'm 27. Do you not think that we kind of have a bit of a responsibility being, you know, the older crew and being returning cast members of being HODs? Like, you seem to be upset the fact that they're so young. It didn't really bother me. I was like, whatever, they're children. But I'm like, let them spout off about, you know, I probably did that shit when I was 23. Like, that was a long time ago.
But they don't complain about it. It's like, I'm not going to say, oh, I hate smoking, and then lights up a cigarette. It's the same thing. They're complaining about...
But I still
smoke. They're complaining about their ages, but they're still acting childish themselves. Which was found quite weird anyway.
No, it was weird. Don't get me wrong. It was. I totally agree. It was weird. Like, their behavior was very childish. But I don't know. I don't think it seemed to us upset me as much as, I don't know. I was just like, whatever. They're children. Like,
yeah. But my deckhand that I've got now is 18 years old. You know, when he first came on, he was like a little whippersnapper. But I mean, he's mature enough to work on the boat and to hang out. I don't really. I mean, the good thing about young people is you always think that you can teach them the ways that you kind of wanted to be taught, and you can show them how you've been taught. But it's also up to them to see if they want to learn and want to listen and want to grow in the industry or in the job that they're doing. Which to Tom, for me, it didn't seem like Tom wanted to. Especially after what happened, it's hard taking responsibility for that. I don't think it was entirely Tom's fault, to be honest. But then just after it, he could have
I think
a bit of responsibility, and I think that comes with age. And it's the crew car. Someone bumped the crew car the other day. The first thing they said is, "Listen, yeah, bumped the crew car." Better than it coming and the captain going to the crew car and seeing a big knock on it, being like, "No, who the fuck is that?" Just own up to your mistakes, and it makes life a lot easier. It's not easy, but in the long run, it'll get you further in life than lying about things.
That is
No,
one thing
for
I will
sure.
say about you.
gosh.
As one thing I will say about you, Gary, is you. It takes you a while, but you will get to the point where you do end up going, oh, okay, I fucking fucked up here. I said this wrong. Okay, and you do own it eventually. Kind of have to squeeze it out of you, but
He'll
I'll give
own
you
up
that.
to it after fucking, I don't know,
Months of lying about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, give it a year or so, a couple weeks.
Yeah, you'll get there. You'll get there eventually.
Eventually,
I'll sleep on it.
sorry, but and I'm a person who can't go to sleep angry, so I just have to wait until he's ready to come and be like, "Hey, sorry," blah blah blah. I'm like, wow.
That's so bad, actually. Hey, fuck. I'm happy we chatting about this, so I know what to work on and try and improve for my future
Yeah,
self.
to go in one ear and out the other. The worst was in LA.
What was that?
We had a huge fight about Coffeegate. I didn't even realize we were fighting, and the next thing I was like, oh my god, are we arguing? And he gets up and leaves, so he flies back to SA, or no, not to SA, to the Caribbean. I'm so upset, so I text him straight away because I don't want to spend the rest of my day angry and upset. So I'm like, I'm so sorry, Gary, I didn't mean to fight. 24 hours later, he messaged me. I was fuming. I was like,
that is not, Daisy does not fly with that.
oh my God.
I know, and that was so bad. I even remember.
If you guys dated, it would be chaos. I know everyone's saying you guys, on one hand, you guys would be a bit of a power couple, but oh my God, you don't go together in that way.
We would kill you.
Yeah, but you see, opposites attract, and it's funny that.
Well, I guess, Ali, now that you've brought up me and Gary, I guess everybody wants to know, which me and Danny have already spoken about. How did you feel about this? Is so uncomfortable. I just want to ask.
How did I feel?
Because it is bad. I felt awful because obviously I'd been through so much, Gary.
You felt awful. How do I feel getting attacked in a jacuzzi? I was just trying to have a lovely jacuzzi and pounds. Gosh, no.
Well,
how Ali felt, because I get messaged a lot. Actually, not surprisingly as much as I thought I was going to. But I do get asked, how Ali feels, and obviously my responses for friends.
Well, I will say, Gary, what you said before, you were upset because I didn't tell you I was pregnant. But Daisy told me she had the decency to tell me about the kiss when it happened, during season while you guys were filming. So I expected it. I didn't expect it to be as full on as it was, but I knew it was coming.
Ali, in my defense, I didn't either.
You can't remember.
I was just
me neither. I was hopeless.
But Gary, do you think that I should be? Do you think, in your opinion, that I should be upset that you didn't tell me anything?
Yeah, perhaps, but by this stage, we haven't been chatting in the last year. We were still chatting, I thought we still had quite a good relationship. But yeah,
yeah.
No,
that's what I thought of it too. I didn't think that you needed to tell me because we hadn't spoken in so long, and Daisy had told me. At first, when everyone was sort of going on about you guys being a couple, I was like, that would be so That would be so bad.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like.
I mean,
it
to be
didn't.
fair, you got to love the fans for that.
Yeah. No, I would like to see it, but I
Like,
know it wouldn't last.
Gonna be
But I would
our
definitely like to see it. I'm actually
No, I'm
like,
saying
from a
because
viewer's perspective, it would be brilliant TV.
well, I mean,
it would be a good lifestyle too. Jeez. Oh,
no, I
no,
think no, yeah, I think like so. Basically, what had happened is me and obviously Gary had kissed. I didn't remember how full on it was, and I told Ali. And but at this stage, I think quite a bit of time had passed, and obviously, and Ali had River and everything at this stage. But yeah, obviously, people always ask about it, but yeah, me and Gary just have a friendship. I don't think we date.
not.
No.
Bye. Just, no, but as I was saying earlier on, you got to love the fans for that, because when we said, well, when the fans thought we were dating, they were so concerned in a good way. You know, they just want the best for both of us. I'm like, I'm so happy for you guys, blah blah blah. But unfortunately, it wasn't true, and we weren't dating. But I was receiving some nice messages, and I was like, actually, this is really nice and sweet of these people to say.
Well, quite sweet how people kind of think like, which is kind of in a weird motherly way, that people think I'm going to come in and change Gary and like make him this better.
Change. Wow.
I would date you if you paid me, and then I could like change you and work on you. And
Fuck. Shit.
You can
Yes,
see
sis,
the
now
chemistry
see the
between you guys,
catch.
though. Like, I can admit that there is chemistry there. There's something, whatever it is, you guys go well together to a point.
Thanks. Abby.
I think we're both
You're welcome.
flirty
You
people.
have my blessing.
For me,
Yeah, you'll be a bridesmaid.
I'll be the officiant. I'll marry
I think
you.
we're just people. And honestly, for me, at one stage, I really did believe this season it was easier for me to flirt with Gary than it was to fight. Like, it was made my job so much easier, made the environment nicer.
How do you
And
feel about that, Gary? How do you feel about that comment?
Well, to be honest, that was probably. Well, I don't know. I don't know, but what I do know is the best thing about this season is mine and Daisy's relationship. Well, the best thing I can take out of this season was mine and Daisy's relationship. I mean, after last season, we didn't really chat. Now we chat quite often when I decide to reply. But, and I don't think if you've worked with someone and lived through an experience like this, it's fucking crazy being on reality TV. I mean, not many people can say it, it's a wild
Yeah, you can
experience.
relate to each
So the
other.
fact that we're still good friends. Yeah, exactly.
The last time that I was with the two of you was when we were all in Palma. Daisy and I were sharing an apartment in Palma. This was well after the crossing, like a couple of months after filming. And it was just before I was about to fly home to Australia, and I hadn't been home yet. And the last time I was with you guys, you literally barely spoke. Like, your relationship has taken a full 180, and it's just so much better this way. Like, you guys get along really well.
well,
And
I think for me during that trip, well, a few reasons. Because yeah, me and Gary had barely spoken prior to Palma, and obviously so much had happened. Like, there was all the unfollowing and all this kind of stuff, and like the way we spoke about each other on the green screens, and then obviously what you were going through in your own relationship with each other, and I was obviously with you dealing with that, and I was dealing with my own stuff in my own relationship. So for me, it was just a lot, and I think I was just at that stage like, yeah, I don't really have like anything to really say to this person. So
Fair enough.
but then we became besties.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there we go. It's not how you start, it's how you finish, really. And I think,
Beautiful,
That's it.
Gary.
well, I mean, some people you don't, I mean, let me just stop there. It's how you finish. And I think Daisy and I'm happy that we have this relationship that we do now. I don't like fighting. I normally get along with most people. And yeah, I'm very happy that Daisy and I are getting along so well.
I'm happy
Fuck
too.
yeah,
I'm
Daisy,
happy
my
to
girl.
see it. Gary, I do want to give you the opportunity. You don't have to, if you don't want to, but do you want to make a comment on the Ashley situation that everyone's talking about? Up to you.
Yeah. I don't know how really to comment on that because I was receiving a lot of messages and they were saying quite bad things about Ashley. The only thing I can say, I guess, is that it wasn't the first time that we hooked up. I would have wished I wasn't that drunk. But I think people are making a bigger deal out of it than it was. So thanks everyone for caring. I do appreciate that.
I
But I
think
do think
it's nice of
people are blowing it out of proportion.
Ashley to see if she was okay. I
Yeah, I
think
messaged her.
I think what people aren't by people thinking they're standing up for you, they're actually hurting a very young, vulnerable person.
Mm.
So I think that was very nice of you to have reached her.
Well, I didn't watch the episode prior to messaging her. I was just getting messages and comments about it all. So I figured that something would have happened. So I messaged Ashley saying, "Hey, listen, yeah, I haven't watched the episode, but due to the messages that I'm getting, I can only imagine the messages that you're receiving. So I'm really sorry about that. Don't take anything personal and don't listen to these people." And she replied saying like, "Oh, I don't listen to these trolls anyway." So it seems like she's a strong person and she doesn't affect her, which is good because you can imagine getting messages just slagging you off all the time wouldn't feel very good about it.
Yeah,
No,
definitely chip away at you.
I think yeah, media's the people on social media have been pretty harsh towards her and forget kind of how young and vulnerable she is.
No, no, but it's also I think the main concern is when people started saying that if the roles were reversed, what would it look like? Like, and I understand that too, but as I said, I don't think you guys should all worry about it. Thanks for your concern, but you're making a bigger deal out of it than it really was.
Well, this is because I got a lot of messages about it. Somehow it was my fault.
Always. Finally, the viewers are
God,
understanding.
Daisy.
I was like, "Are you fucking kidding
How
me?
could you?
How did it happen?" I'm like, "I was asleep." I'm like, and yeah, basically all that matters is it's a private matter between you and well, private to an extent. Obviously, it's on reality TV, but like it's between you and Ashley. And if either of you had come to me with concern, I would have taken it seriously. But I know you, and you were fine. Like, so I'm not gonna. Gary, just stay away from the girls.
Let's get on to that
I
topic.
try. You know
Please,
what?
I want
Actually,
to
there was a
know.
great comment on one of the episodes that someone sent me that I was doing something, I don't know where, but Ashley and Gabriella were busy working and they said, "Gary, now all the girls on the boat have kissed you." And then I commented and then I paused for a second. I'm like, wait, just take that back. Correct. All the girls kissed me, not the other way around. So, it takes two to tango. Yes,
Hey, so
100%.
kissed each other, okay?
Yeah, but yeah, I know. I try and stay away from the girls, but if you see Ashley's actions, it's like, fucking hell. I've got to quit my job if I've got to get away from someone like that.
She is persistent. Definitely. I want to
Fucking
know.
hell. And persistence pays off, clearly, but fuck my life.
I know firsthand. The persistence of Gary King paid off with me.
Well, Ali, the difference, yeah, well,
No, that was definitely in
the one that
comparable
got away.
situations.
Yeah, no, of course.
I want to know though, Gary, your season when our season that we were on together, like you kind of copped a bit of, shit, if I put it lightly. And then from like the way that everything played out with your approach with the girls, this season you seem to have taken a totally different approach. You still get yourself into so much mess That's like it just follows you around apparently. But did you do that consciously? Did you go into the season and go, I am not getting involved in any girl drama this time?
I guess it played a little part. It was on the back of my mind. But then also, it's like, I'm not the biggest fan of being single. Don't get me wrong. I'm not looking, but if it comes my way, then great. I mean, working on boats, as Daisy can also elaborate on that, it's not very hard to find someone. And you think that generally you're gonna,
hard.
hey, it's very hard to find someone.
Oh, I think that it's not. I was like, what? What am I?
Oh, no, exactly. It's very hard to find someone. How it happened this season, yes, it kind of, trouble did follow me, but you never. It's fucking hard to meet people, and I don't get a lot of time for myself. I work 6 days a week because this boat demands that, which is a fucking joke. So you don't really have much time for yourself. So the only people that I'm meeting is the people on the boat. So if something's going to work out, maybe it's going to be someone that I work with. And I think after day 2, I realized that the girls on the boat, maybe except for Daisy, actually definitely except for Daisy, it's definitely not my cup of tea. But yeah.
What made you work that out so quickly?
Fuck, just, I don't know, just the forwardness of Ashley, I didn't really enjoy. The persistence. Yeah, it was a little
What
bit of a
about
turn off,
Gabby's
to be
forwardness?
honest.
She was pretty out of nowhere. She was pretty forward.
Yeah, well, actually, there was something that wasn't shown on TV, which was quite fucking gnarly. Anyway, and yeah,
Tell
What?
us.
Hey.
Hey? No, I can't because it wasn't. Okay, well, anyway, no, fuck, that's so bad. Anyway, the one day Gabby jumped into my bed, I was fast asleep. I was out.
You already
Because,
told us
I don't
what
know why.
happened.
She already told us on
She told us what happened.
Oh, she did. Oh, right. When
On
she
dinner
woke.
party.
Okay, she did. Yeah, fuck. And that's something.
Yeah.
It's like it was quite sexy to be honest with you. But my space is my own personal. Yeah, it was weird. I woke up to her having an orgasm. I was like, "What the fuck's
Can you
happening
just
here?"
fill in the gaps for
Anyway.
people who are listening who don't know what we're talking about? Can you just fill in the gaps?
Really, this is not going to sound good. Anyway, I was sleeping. Gabby jumped into my bed uninvited, and she started playing with herself. I woke up to hearing,
Are you up?
oh no, sorry. Yeah, and her hand was on my cock, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And then eventually it ended. She orgasmed with me not doing anything. And I was like, fuck. So I rolled over to her and I remember saying to her clearly, I'm like, that was fucking sexy. Anyway, I don't know what else to say. I don't know how to deal with stuff like this. So the
you
next day
did
we spoke
nothing.
about it and she's
Were
like,
Colin and Marcos in the room?
yeah. And then remember the next day she even came to me and she's like, I'm sorry I used your cock as a prop while I pleasured myself. It's like, fuck, I'm not just a piece of meat. And I was like, so your shit like this, I don't deal well with at all. And I don't know how to deal with it. It's fucking, you should see me on Instagram. Maybe that's why I don't reply. Like, you get some very friendly people sending you can just only imagine. So, and then I don't reply because I don't know how to reply. And then they get angry at me for not replying. And they're like, so what do you think about it? So I'm like, well, that's nice. That's like, fuck.
Yeah, you confirm that me or Ali never did anything like this with you.
No, of course not. Because you girls have got class. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. You know? It's,
What
you
about
know,
you? What about, is there love there? Is there anything you can tell us?
about what?
The new stew that comes on to the season. Obviously, I know you can't give too many spoilers, but
No. I liked her. I thought she was very positive. Her outlook on life. She was spunky. We chat every now and then, not as much as we used to. But yeah, I'm a bit nervous to see how it's going to come out.
But you didn't even watch the episode.
Would you? No.
You never watch it.
Hey?
You never even watched the episode.
Fuck yeah! I'm excited. I mean, well, myself. Yeah, exactly. Well, because I send them to my mom straight away, and she tells me whether I should watch it or not.
Oh, your poor mom.
So Yeah, no. No, she's
What
loving this girl.
What did your mum think about me and you kissing? My mum, did I tell
No,
you
she
what
quite like it.
my mum
Look
said?
at my. Well, because I haven't watched this episode that comes out on Monday yet, but where's mom? We're phoning now. She's like, yes, I must say, Gary, I feel really bad. I felt really sorry for Daisy with those guests. Fuck, they were bad. No culture. I hope she's okay.
Oh,
Aww.
I'm joking.
well,
So,
your mum is so sweet. Your mum secretly loves me. I know she does.
yeah, no.
I walked in with
Aww.
my parents. I hadn't seen them in a while, and my dad picked me up and drove me to the airport. And I walked in, and my mum was sat at the kitchen table. And first thing she says, she's like, "So you kissed the gobshite?" I'm like,
Gobshite. Yes, see, my mom calls you Daisy. No bad nicknames. Fuck. Mom, next time you speak to me about Daisy, listen.
Wait. Does your mum hate me?
Fucking gobshite.
"Oh, it was so funny."
No, my mom likes you, Alli, Dore. She actually
Oh,
asked about you the
good.
other day. Oh, no,
Oh,
this morning when I told her I was chatting about you.
oh,
Yeah. Oh, she's like, so you still chat to Alli, Dore? Obviously, because,
oh.
yeah.
She's so sweet.
Yeah. And I was like, no, actually, I don't, Mom. And she's like, oh, but you're talking to her now. I'm like, yeah, we're doing this cast thing and, podcast. And she's like, oh,
Casting.
that's nice. Yeah.
You're so shit at technology. It's so
Yeah,
funny.
fuck. So bad.
Oh my god. We're running out of time. Is there anything, Daisy, that you wanted before we wrap up? Is there anything that you wanted to?
I think we've touched it all. It's nice to chat, the three of us, get it all out in the air, have a little.
Is I
I'm
do
Okay.
actually
so
want.
glad we're chatting, Alli. It's good to see you.
Yeah, me too. I'm really glad. This is, if for anyone who doesn't know, the world doesn't know, this is the first time we've actually properly spoken since the reunion. So I'm glad that we've done this. I do want to know one last thing. Hypothetically speaking, if you guys were asked back for next season, we don't know anything yet. So I'm just assuming because you guys are such fan favorites, both of you and Colin. How would you feel if Colin came on and took your throne as the lady killer of the boat? I need to know how that would play out because this whole time Colin's had a girlfriend.
Yeah. Me first. To be honest, secretly, I believe Colin is a lady killer. But Colin's a lovable guy. Who wouldn't want to be with Colin? So yeah, I think actually rumor has it that Colin is a single guy. So if there's another season, I would quite like that because then I can learn from Colin. I mean, he's such a lovable guy. Everyone loves him.
And get
Fucking yeah,
girlfriend.
Daisy, how's it going?
And then you can both compete for
What?
Daisy's
No,
love.
nothing.
It could be like a whole new reality
Yeah,
show.
fuck.
Compete for
I can
Daisy's
see that
love.
happening. That'd be amazing.
I love that.
We're gonna fight over my stews. I'm just gonna be doing all the work by myself. It's gonna
You
be
have the
Colin's
worst
gonna have a
time.
stew in the week. Gary's gonna have a stew in the last. I'm gonna be like, what the fuck?
No, I don't know. I think the relationship that us three have together is quite remarkable, to be honest. And it's something that I'm going to keep with me for the rest of our lives. I don't think Colin and I would ever fight over a girl, unless it's Daisy. But yeah, if they do ask us back, I think if we do come back and everyone agrees, I think doing the third season for us three it'll just get better and better, to be honest with you, Ali. I feel
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Let's just put that energy out there and hope that Bravo is listening to
Yeah.
this. Yeah, it would be good.
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, thank you so much, Gary, for joining us. We really appreciate it. I was a little bit. Part of me was worried you would not want to talk to me and you wouldn't want to come on the podcast, but I'm glad that you did.
I didn't.
And-
This is my brother. It's my doppelganger. Gary's in the other room. No, I'm joking.
Oh, that's why you're so nice.
No, I'm happy. I'm actually I'm quite surprised you guys have asked me on your show. It's been fucking 2 years now since I've got an
You
invite.
follow us?
Hey? Only if you follow back. Follow for follow.
Well, I think we probably needed to let some things settle before you came on the pod. let the dirt settle a bit in the sand. So we're happy to have you on, and we're glad you took the time.
Yeah, it was great being on the pod.
Awesome. I've enjoyed it very much so.
Guys,
Thank you so much, and we'll see everyone next week for our next episode.
yeah.
Bye.
Thanks, Alli. Thanks, Daisy. Lots of love, girls.